The mentality in Iowa was a real close match to my mentality. They were all about controlling, making the guys not want to wrestle you, staying together. It was very similar to me, man. Very similar mentality. They got it, man. It was like a place I could kind of flourish there. I didn't want to lose. I wanted to win every match. I wanted to be a four-timer. That was my expectation of myself, you know. I didn't think anybody could stay with me. I felt like pressure to win, be great and dominant. I knew I was capable of what I was capable of doing, and I wanted to prove it to the world. Hey, we're here at the house in Coconut Creek with the kids. Just picked them up from school. They did their homework. It's just kind of like our family time because they're usually like winding down by the time I get back home from the gym. Occasionally I'll catch them, but usually they're already in bed.
Is that an important thing, making them do their homework before they come out and play?
Yeah, you know, that's her department right there. You know, like I'm not into the education thing, and I know it's not where I'm at, so I delegated it to her. So that's her deal.
The answer's yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, homework before flying.
So I met my wife Katie at Iowa. She ran track there.
Steve and I met in an environmental science class my freshman year, his sophomore year. Steve came up to me before the final, the day before the final, and just said, hey, you want to get together to study?
Kind of hit it off there. She worked the summer wrestling camps. So at Iowa, the guys don't work the dorms. They have like people to do that. So she'd walk them to practice and then walk them back to the dorms. So we got to know each other throughout the summer.
And he was very interesting to me because he had kind of this like bad boy persona, which was exciting. The perception around campus of Steve, I think it was surprised that he had a steady girlfriend. He was like a campus star. You know, he was like the guy. People really thought that he was like this intense person who didn't date. They would just be offhanded comments like, oh, I didn't think he did anything other than train, or oh, doesn't he eat rocks, or he never leaves his room. No one really knew about him because he was very private. And once Steve and I started dating, it was like, within the first couple weeks, clear that he was at a much different level because his whole point in being in college was to wrestle. The more I got to know Steve, the deeper our relationship got. I cared about what he was doing. Wrestling was a major focus, the focus.
My freshman year, the game plan was in place. You know, I really thought I was gonna run through everybody, you know. Wrestled pretty well throughout the season, kind of close, but I was a true freshman, you know, like had some nail-biting matches. Some guys strategically took me out of my game, but I came out on top. And then in the finals, I wrestled Rollins. I had the coin flip. I chose down. You don't get written out in that situation, right? You got to get away. That's all they say in the room. And then he wrote me out, which was like really rocked my world.
I know after his loss, he had pretty much walked out into the parking lot area, and he was just extremely hurt. And there's nothing that anyone can say. He had trained, so hard. He had committed so much time and effort. And when you put all that time in, all that training, that hard work, that dedication, the sacrifices, losing in the NCAA finals really hurts.
I remember sitting in my bed, like at home, and was like just thinking, like, I wish I could just get off the bottom now, but it was over. And that drove me, man. I had a big picture of Tommy celebrating. I had a big picture of the podium. So like on one side of my room was a big picture of him getting his hand raised. On the other side of the room was a podium. And that's all I looked at, man. That's all I looked at. Every time before I went to bed, I looked up. You know what I mean? I was like completely, fanatically entrenched with winning an NCAA title at that point. I would talk to Coach Brands probably 3 times a day. He'd have me come into the office every day, 6:30. He didn't want me sleeping in. He didn't want me like out and about. He had me do the stadium workout. He just like gave me the dummy. He didn't tell me how many. He just said, keep going. And man, I remember like after I was done, he came and got me. He was like, how can you lose, man? How could you lose? Look how many you just did with a dummy on your back. How do you not get off the bottom? And it hit home to me. I'm like, this guy should not be riding me out. Should have won that match. That summer, man, I did not do anything except train. I didn't even want to go out in public.
He basically lived at Carver. There was no pain, there was no stopping. If you wanted to beat him, you were gonna have to kill him. He was gonna put you through a war, and that's how he trained.
My sophomore year, I think, was my best collegiate season because of what I put into it leading up to it. Heading into NCAAs my sophomore year, I was the #1 guy in the country. I was confident as hell. I knew there was very few opportunities that I didn't take advantage of as far as training. I just had to get there and wrestle and make it happen. Rollins rolled his ankle. It probably should have been me and Tommy, but I didn't care, man. I wanted to wrestle whoever was there. If he's not there, then it's the next guy, you know? I just wanted to win the title. Kevin Hoy, Air Force, big dude from New Jersey, redheaded guy, hard-nosed wrestler. I wanted to, like, beat him. That's it. Good. I was definitely out in the way, but he was still putting heat on me. It was an entertaining match. Best feeling in the world, man. It was the best feeling in the world. I remember just saying, like, what a difference, man. What a difference. And there's not that much, really it's 30 seconds. Like, either you get out or you don't, right? As my freshman year. But what a difference, like, in your life that could mean, you know? And it was, man. Winning it my sophomore year was like it was one of the highlights of my career. Stay mobile now, Stefan. Stefan, too easy, man. You got to get up, and as soon as you realize you're getting beat, you got to get up and clear. If I shoot on Dante and he sprawls and he stuffs me, now he's got to find me. You're staying on your haunch and you're wrestling. And remember, if we get pulled back down, as soon as we hit, we're back again. We get pulled back down, then as soon as we hit, we're back again. You know what I'm saying? It's never just one and then done. It's keep going, keep going. You know what I mean? All right. That's it, man. That extra effort, getting into him, making him fall down in front of you. You know what I mean? When I signed at Iowa, I said, hey, I just want to let you know, like, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to want to take an Olympic redshirt year. How does that work? I wanted to make the team. I wanted to win the gold medal. 2004, that's my year. I'll be perfect. I'll be in my prime, physically.
It seemed like, after talking to a lot of different coaches, that was the right decision for Steve to make.
I had a lot of critics, too, with that. They're like, you're not going to make the team, whatever. But I was like, great. I'm like, I just won NCAA. Now I get to shut all these other people up, you know? I'm like, you know, so I thought it was a good opportunity for me to, like, state what I already knew. I already knew I was, like, the best in the world. I wanted to prove it. Like, I wrestled McCoy in the Open, in the finals. They put me down, and then he gut-wrenched me. But that was the only point scored. It was 3-0. I lost the clinch. I got the lock, but I didn't score. They put me down. He had a good gut. I mean, he was better than me, I think, that year, for sure. He definitely was a complete package, and I wasn't that yet, you know? The trials didn't go good. First round, I wrestled Angelo Borzio, and I kind of tweaked my ankle a little bit, and I really couldn't put no weight on my ankle. Like, I could put weight on it, but it felt like a peg leg. I couldn't really, like, felt like I couldn't, like, balance on it or nothing. I lost to Tyler Thompson. I wound up taking third in the trials. I had a really big letdown. I wanted to win make the team, win the gold. I didn't even really, I took third in the trials, you know? It's a big anticlimactic thing.
During my sophomore year in college, his redshirt year, he was traveling back and forth between the training center, and I knew that he really liked the training at the training center. I knew he still loved training under Tom and with the Iowa guys. But as he was traveling overseas for tournaments and getting a little bit more exposure outside the wrestling room, I could kind of tell that, you know, the Iowa hold was starting to loosen.
After, like, not making the team, I knew I wasn't where I needed to be, so I needed a radical change. I needed to mix things up and, like, shake things up, and I knew no matter what I was doing, I wasn't going to be at Iowa. During my redshirt year, the coaching system and the way it was when I was recruited at Iowa had totally changed. Like, Tom's leaving.
Tom Brands was kind of like, I would say, his closest friend in Iowa.
When you're his guy, he's like, pushes you, you know, and I needed that. I said, all right, man, we're gonna go in and have a meeting. Jimmy was there. I didn't have to say nothing to him. You know, I think he kind of knew what was up. He's like, you're not coming back next year? And I'm like, you know, I want to talk to you about it. He's like, well, what do you need? You need a release? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, your release up, you'll have it. Man, the guy's a very honest guy, man, very, very 100% to his word. Found no fault in him as a person or as a coach of the program in any way. It just wasn't where I thought I could make the Olympic team at.
Tom Brands was given the head coaching position at Virginia Tech.
And I'm like, I got to go to Virginia Tech with him. But what if he gets to him and he don't even know what he's getting into yet? Like, he's got to have to build that program up. Like, how am I going to get on the Olympic team at Virginia Tech?
Steve's focus is it was so narrow-minded in a sense of, I'm going to train, I'm going to be the best I can be, and I'm going to surround myself around those who can help me obtain my gold medal.
See, I wanted to move to Colorado. And I was like, well, wait a minute, man. Like, there's 3 Olympians in Stillwater. Half the team is coming out of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Let's switch gears now, all right? We're focusing on the offensive guy. Let's focus on the defensive guy, all right? I hit a hard shot on Coach, and he stopped me. He got off the position, and now I'm in a bad spot, right? He's covered me, and I'm in a front headlock right away. I know he's coming this way, right? Why? He's got this arm beat. I got a block here. He's got this one beat already. So I know instinctively I got to switch my ears. So I'm going to take this elbow to my body and circle up. All right? Up and through him. As soon as we get hit, he's on top. He's got me beat. I got to switch my ears and run through him. Violently attacking that angle. Where do we get in trouble? 9 times out of 10 we get in trouble when we don't change levels and run. What do? We back up. Then we wind up on our foreheads and our mouth, right? Same way when a guy has on our collar tie and he's snapping us, if we go back, that's what he wants, right? Same thing from a front head. He's got me in a front head. He's off the position right away. I'm clearing. Clearing, I'm circling, and I'm coming forward. All right, let's go.
I didn't realize what a big deal it was. Like, I mean, I realized it, but I didn't care. Like, I was from New Jersey, I didn't care. I was like, I tried to get it with everybody and like get better.
When I found out Steve was transferring, you know, it was awesome. I was like, I got my buddy back. You know, that was the best thing about it, because I knew when Steve came back, I mean, I was confident in the way I was training and the people I was around, but I knew when Steve came back, it was just a matter of time for myself to win a title.
John Smith, 2-time Olympic champ, was the head coach. Daniel Cormier had already made an Olympic team, and he was there. He had won an NCAA championship, and I think now he was thinking, I want to win an Olympic gold medal.
It just seemed like a no-brainer to me at the time, you know. I was like, they had 3 Olympians. I want to be an Olympian. I want to be a gold medalist. That's where I need to be at. Freestyle-wise, it was different. There was guys there that could test me, you know, like Cormier, Mo.
When I first learned about Steve Mocco, he ain't that good. He can't be that good. He's good, but he can't be that good. People are afraid of him. And I see him, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. It's time. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on him. I'm like, hey man, you want to wrestle live? He's like, yeah, okay, let's go. And he beat the dog. Woo, 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 he beat my ass. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna wrestle through every day till I finally beat him. I never beat him, but it took me a year to get my first takedown on him.
One of the big things that surprised me about Oklahoma State was people from Iowa were like, oh, you can't go there. They don't really even practice. Man, their practices were the same. Kind of like the coaches were at Iowa. It's like, you come in, you put your stuff on, he gives a speech, you warm up. When you're ready to go, you wrestle hard. Maybe he's a little bit more structured. They don't drill as a team as much at Iowa. They drill more individually with the coach. But other than that, man, the same thing.
How did maybe some of your Iowa teammates react?
They all reacted bad, man. I kind of figured they would, you know. I kind of was surprised at first.
I said, Steve, this is going to be a big deal. There's going to be a lot. This is going to be a really, really big deal. And Steve was like,
you know, like maybe I'm naive, but I was like, I guess it's going to be huge, but whatever.
Like for him, he was pretty laid back about it. So like, as intense as Steve is on the mat, Like off the mat, he's pretty mellow. He's pretty relaxed. He's pretty laid back. And I said, yeah, these Iowans, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna be angry.
Even when I wrestled Iowa State, some dude spit at me. Like spit and yelled like some crazy stuff. I don't even remember it. But I mean, this is an Iowa fan that just came there to like heckle.
He saw the guy throw something at him and hit him with like something. And, you know, I saw him look up and I said, uh-oh, like, if Steve gets that guy, it's going to be ugly. So I was like, just sort of like, just getting Steve in the locker room. I wasn't really feared about Steve getting it. I was more concerned about, like, what's going to happen if he gets a hold of this guy that just threw something at him.
And then Iowa was even worse. Man, it was rough, man. It was rough. Like, they had to move the bench. Well, because people were yelling. It gets hairy in there, real loud. I didn't let it get to me too much, but man, it's a hostile environment to compete in. And you know what was weird too? Like, felt like I was in the principal's office. Like at the weigh-ins, you know what I mean? Like, I see Zaleski there. I was like, hey, what's up, coach? And I could tell right away. He's like, nah, there's no hey, what's up, coach, with his vibe, you know? He's like, you're the enemy right now. You could just see it on him. And I was, man, and I was. There's times where I caught myself daydreaming or like thinking about what would they be doing? Like if I had gone back to Iowa after the trials and you know, would I be doing this right? What would be going on? There was times like that. I never second guessed the decision. I don't think I thought about it that clearly.
I think when Steve came to Oklahoma State, I think the whole country was probably pissed off because there was no way that no other team could win it now.
Yeah, my junior year at Oklahoma State was definitely probably the best team I wrestled for. We had an all-star team.
It was my sophomore year, Johnny Hendricks' sophomore year, it was Coleman Scott's true freshman year, it was Chris Pendleton's senior year, Jake Rochel's junior year. I mean, we had a class that was going to be untouchable.
Postseason, you know, we did really well. Going into the NCAAs, we kind of ran away with it.
Even more pressure's added to Steve. All of a sudden, you got 4 teammates in front of you that just won a national title. You transfer from Iowa. Everyone hates you. Everyone wants to see you lose. The pressure on him was tremendous.
And I won it, man. And I think that's one of my better accomplishments in college, you know. I was pretty pumped up about it. I kind of felt good about it because I had transferred. I took a bit of a gamble. It made me feel like I made a good decision, you know.
Stay on it, Alexi. Attack it. Attack the front head. Beautiful, man. That's it. That's what it is, right? That's what we got to get used to. Just it's got to be our go-to. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Where we get in trouble is when we're here, we hit a beautiful shot, he cleared it, and then we do this. And we do this. And now, the other night, what were they all doing? We stayed stagnant. They buried the head and came here, right? Can't bury the head. He can't get to my hip if he switches ears. Switch ears. Now I can't get to my. I could try and disengage, but we're wrestling at that point. You know what I mean? That's why we're switching ears. All right?
My senior year at Oklahoma State, for the most part, I wrestled good. I mean, Conrad had my number, though, that whole year. He beat me in the finals. Close matches. It was hard for me to get to him, man. He did a really good job of hand fighting. Just a real good wrestler, man. He made a lot of adjustments that I had not, you know, made from the year before, and he capitalized on it. Walking out of like college wrestling, my last college match, coming up short. It was kind of funny, man. Like, I did not feel the way I felt my freshman year. My freshman year was like the whole world ended. You know, my senior year, I felt like I got beat in the match. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I felt that way. I can't explain it. Dropping matches definitely made me go to the drawing board, and I made changes. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I lost this week. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing. If I lost, I was like, what the, you know, like, what do we gotta do? We gotta like, break out the board, man. We got to get down to fixing everything, you know? I stayed in Stillwater. I coached for a year. You know what I mean? I played football. I kind of enjoyed life there for a little while. And it was fun, man. It was nice there.
At some point, he realized, okay, I got to get back on track here. And he was training at Oklahoma State, and I talked to Tom at one of the freestyle tournaments, and I said, hey, you know, I asked Tom for his opinion on what the best place for Steve would be. Where do you think Steve should be right now? What would be the best situation for him in order to make the Olympic team? And he said, Joe, my brother is training at the Olympic Training Center. He's training the athletes. I said, you think Steve should go out there? And he said, yeah. He said, I think that would be give him the best opportunity, because Terry's a tremendous coach.
Called Terry. I was like, I want to make the team. I'm in. That's what I got to do.
When we moved to Colorado, at first I was apprehensive because I was leaving the comfort zone. I was leaving the Oklahoma State family. I was leaving a nice job, but I love Colorado. That's where I'd always vacation. Like, that wasn't the hard sell. Like, I wanted to live in Colorado, but it was like moving there as a family. When we got out there, we lived with Terry Brands and his family in, like, they had a guest room in their basement.
And it was good, man. Katie had just had the baby. She was staying in Woodland Park. It was an awesome lifestyle. He had a wood burner right in the basement there.
And we lived there for 6 weeks probably, and that really helped the move because they took us in like family. And Terry really gave that family college-style atmosphere at the training center.
He had a box, like a suitcase full of Gilligan's Island and Star Trek. Old seasons on DVD, and he didn't have cable. That was it. So me and Katie would come home from practice, and you could go back and forth. On Monday, watch Gilligan's Island. On Tuesday, watch Star Trek.
Right away, is that fair?
That's fair.
No, it's not fair.
That's fair.
Or you could read a book or just talk or whatever. But it was pretty much cut and dry. Wrestling was what we had going. I think Tom and Terry, the difference is Tom is a little bit more outspoken, and Terry's like, you know, a little bit more militant, maybe you could say, you know.
We're going to run first. Forward, we're going to run first, right here. Stay low in your stance to the stage and back.
It was like black and white. There was not too much gray going on.
Way to Bubba Daniel, go Bell Rob, you're the captain!
Gable used to talk about mind-numbing workouts.
The way it was like a Shark Tank. Like, the guys who lived there, if somebody was coming to train, it was like, oh man, we don't have to go there ourselves anymore.
Good enough when you can get more.
Like, it was like fresh meats coming in, let's go.
Terry took a real active interest in Steve, and they became extremely close, and they hung out and got to know each other. They were like good friends, as well as him coaching Steve.
Hard! Nobody in the world can break you.
Steve, you know, was improving, getting better, getting him in, you know, the best shape of his life.
We had great partners. All the guys, all the national team guys, like, it took some coercion, but they all jumped in, they all helped. I remember the feeling of like, I'm the guy, man. I'm the guy right now. Because I had been in so many of those camps where I was a number 2 or 3, you know? So I remember, like, it was an awesome feeling, like, yeah, man, I'm the guy. The approach to the trials was similar to most of the big competitions because I came up short a lot, you know? I lost in the US Open. Tommy beat me. He had made the world team the year before. He had qualified the weight the year before. So it was kind of his weight to win.
It was a tough battle, you know. They had to go to the third match.
I remember winning, coming back to the tunnel, coming back into the warm-up area. And I remember all the Oklahoma State guys were going nuts. I'm jogging back to the tunnel, and I could see Coach Smith like hugging, I forget who, maybe Jamil or like somebody. They were all like high-fiving. And I was like, I kind of like paused for a minute. I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's my guys right there. Once I was on the team and I was the guy, this is it. You know, this is meant to be. I just got to go out and win 4 or 5 more matches. I'm gonna be a gold medalist, you know.
How did your Olympic tournament go?
The Olympic tournament was anticlimactic. I was really confident. I thought I was well prepared. I thought I was in a great shape, and I thought I had the tools to win. Fell short in both those matches. You know, I can't think of another tournament I was more prepared for, but it didn't happen for me.
The experience, the Olympic moment of being there, You know, it's supposed to be an enjoyable experience, but when you've put all your time and effort into trying to become, you know, the best that you can be, and your goal is to go there and win an Olympic gold medal, just to make the Olympic team is a great feat in itself, but to not medal, it was depressing. I think it was a depressing time for me. I felt so terrible for him.
My dad and Joe were both really, really supportive, man. They came up to me and they both said in their own ways, like, we're proud of you, and we love you.
He's always committed himself. He's always put every effort in, and he's always had fun doing it. You know, he's had fun. Sometimes it's not fun. And that Olympic moment wasn't fun. It was extremely depressing.
Looking back on it now, I like it, man. It was a fun thing, but at the time it didn't seem like a good thing for me, man. I was like, I'm gonna probably, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't know if I was gonna retire, if I was gonna, you know, get into coaching. Yeah, you come to that hip, he starts bailing, let him bail and attack. Don't let him all the way out, right? As soon as he starts bailing, right here, look, boom. Right? If he gets this, if he reaches back, all right? Other way, other way, other way, other way. That's a peek out. That's assuming we can't get our head out, right? He's got this tight, he's got it trapped. So now you gotta come the other way. That way, but forward, forward. Drive into him, Paul. Drive, yeah. But don't pull away. You see at the last minute you pulled away? You don't need to pull away. What loosens it is me coming forward. Coming forward.
Oh, you're driving up.
Yeah, I'm prying my head out. If I stop and I try and back out, right? If I stop and try and back out, see how it gets tighter? So I come forward. Yeah, I just went in, I took all the Olympic stuff, put it together, and I didn't even want to see it. Like Katie kind of put it away. And I just kind of like, I didn't do much. I pretty much just like watched TV and like, you know, hung out. And then little by little, I was playing with the kids. I was like hanging with her. She was pregnant with Peter at the time.
He was really low, but Terry was there with him. And you know, I think Terry was saying, you know, you're not done. Like, this isn't it.
And I really didn't have time to I guess, get too soaked up in it, because after the third week of being home, I came back to Colorado, and Terry was like, I'm out of here, man. He's like, I'm out of here. And I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, I'm going to Iowa City, Iowa, and we're gonna build wrestling there. And I'm like, pack it up, man, pack it up, let's go. I just went there because Terry was going there. It wasn't like the coaches were like, hey, you come to Iowa City, we'll put you in the Hawk Club, you get a stipend. We went there and it was understood, like, you gotta win tournaments, that's how you're gonna get paid.
Our time in Iowa was weird. You know, it was different because our last experience of living in Iowa City was as college athletes, and now we were moving back as parents, and Steve was training with the team that he had left.
Training when you're 18, 19, 20, 21, training, you know, the way that he was training at Iowa. I mean, it's hard to replicate that. So after 2008, to try to train that way, you're gonna probably start getting injured.
So I really started getting banged up.
Around the Olympic trials in 2012 was a very hectic time in our family life.
I did my last training camp for wrestling at Iowa City there. And it was rough, man. It was a bumpy training camp. I had a lot of like little bumps in the road.
It did not feel the same as 2008 because it hadn't been like the goal.
Steve lost in the semis to someone he had beaten, you know, many times. So it was a tough loss. And I think, you know, at that time, when you lose in the semis of the Olympic trials, it's over.
He was for sure bummed. Like he was upset, but I think that he was looking forward. And we just had a lot on our plate. Like real life was happening.
I was pretty sure I was done. I knew even at that training camp that I was done competing.
Straight those on, Steve. Come on. Finish it. Give it to me.
I just figured, you know, I could just tell, like, stuff that I had done easily was taking a lot of effort, just not physical effort, but just like getting geared up to get yourself there. You know what I mean? So I know if I'm not getting there that easy, I probably need to rethink this thing. press him, right? I'm pressing and pressing. He's getting away from me. Turn, put him in the elevator. You know what I'm saying?
Push it a little
Yeah, yeah. Even if you hit this, right? I hit this. We're wrestling. I'm just gonna step out and cover.
You're just covering me like.
With my chest, I'm caping you and then just kind of crunching down. You know what I mean? As opposed to holding you up, and then, you know what I mean? Monday wrestling at ATT, 11:30 is kicking off. We try to kick the week off every week, all the pro guys, hard wrestling workout. We try and make it like a spot where everybody in the gym that's in town kind of meets there. And maybe they might not go through the whole practice, but that's kind of the meeting place for the week. And we try and get like a good, hard wrestling workout in every week. All right, back and forth, head inside, head outside shots. Watch Mike. Hits his shot, pulls the trigger, up and run. Back and forth. As you get hot, start finishing. Let's go. There's a lot of different ability levels. We have like world-class athletes in here that have never wrestled before. So it's kind of interesting to watch them develop next to someone who wrestled, you know, at a Big Ten school their whole career and was like a phenomenal wrestler, you know. So it's kind of fun, and it is a lot of fun because they compete at a very high level. They're high-level athletes, they're professional, they take it serious, and they put the time in to get better. And it's really exciting to me. It's fun starting with a clear canvas. It's a fun wrestling workout, but it's pure wrestling, you know, outside of the rules, you know. Take them down, hold them down. Down, back, down, back, down, back. 3, hit.
Steve floated the idea about going into fighting when we were driving back from Illinois after the Olympic trials. And it had always been an idea that was out there, you know, because Johnny Hendricks had gone into fighting and Jake had gone into fighting and they were successful. Steve said, you know, this is really something that I think I need to do. This could be it. And I said, you know what? Let's do it.
I got really intrigued with the early UFCs. I was kind of into them. I remember like we had one of those like boxes where you get the pay-per-views. It was awesome. Like Gracie and Shamrock and those guys. I was intrigued in that. But I really didn't follow the main college, man. I was wrestling, full-time wrestling. Like very rarely did I even follow it up until I got involved with it. The first time I worked out in an MMA setting, not a wrestling setting, was the first day I showed up here at American Top Team. You know, they had me hitting pads, had me doing some light sparring. I wanted to immerse myself in it, and I did, man. I spent a lot of time in the gym working at it, because I knew I didn't have a long window. It wasn't something I was planning on doing for a decade, you know what I mean? But I wanted to see what it was like, I wanted to feel it, I liked the vibe. If we could get to his bicep with our hip, we got him beat, you know what I'm saying? There's always something you could be getting better at, which is, it's exciting, you know, like, and it's fun to do stuff out of your wheelhouse, and it's cool, man. I really like that about MMA. I think it's an exciting, and it's a healthy lifestyle. It's a great opportunity for guys like us, you know, that wrestled their thing, they're done wrestling, and it's like a good venue for us. Like we could get in as coaches, competitors. It's just an opportunity that's there, right? I'm spending a little time here. All right, I'm gonna post to make some space. I'm gonna step out. You know, for now, I'm a full-time coach here, and they keep me pretty busy with it, and I'm enjoying it, man. It's a fun thing. I learn something new every day with these guys. And, you know, it's cool. We got the little kids going, so I'm pretty tied up for what I'm doing. 20 push-ups back here on the cement. Hit. Hey, when you guys are done, 20 push-ups. Huh? Go ahead, man. You
On me?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
The wrestling culture in South Florida is getting a lot bigger over the last, since I've been down here, I could see it, I could feel it. We're definitely at it's starting to change, and I think it's only going to change faster. As it happens, it's going to be contagious. Good run, up and run, step up and run. Beautiful, bro, beautiful. That's right, he wants this, I'm going to do this. Part of my identity is wrestling, you know? It's not my whole identity, but it's a big part of my identity as a person, and it's what I relate to. Right here, I'm here. I like talking about it, I like watching it. I really just enjoy the whole sport. Let him feel like he's going that way, then we're gonna reach back and frame. Drive this elbow. At a certain point, kind of like it's something you do, and then all of a sudden it becomes someone you are, you know what I mean? And I think it's well beyond that with me.
Our entire life together has revolved around wrestling. Every move we've made, every goal that's been set out has been about wrestling.
So I have a feel on it. So as he starts to move that way, right, that's when it's coming.
He's really excited about coaching fighters and coaching these youth wrestlers. You know, like he calls me up and tells me about it, and you know, just like he used to call me up to tell me about his practice.
I'm happy, man. I'm a happy guy. I love what I do. I got a great family. You know, all around pretty happy, man. Doing pretty great. I'm excited about what the future brings for wrestling, for Florida, whatever it is. I just want to keep going in the direction I'm going.